Man, I think I want to just do a podcast and just really vibe out with y'all today and just talk more outside of course, entertainment, but just more real life things that's going on. Right now, of course, I'm in upstate, I'm in New York, and our air quality is continuously depleting because of this wildfire that started out in Canada. And this morning, I woke up and I put a face mask on. I went to take my dog outside, and the atmosphere literally smelled like a burning wood fire. Like if you do a bonfire and you just burn wood at the chimney, that's what it smelled like when you walk outside. The smell was so strong that I could smell it in my hallway. And I went outside with my dog and it was smoke. I'm literally walking through smoke. And this isn't just my area because we're the closest to Canada, I believe. Because New York City is way further down than we are. Like we're the closest to Canada. We're literally like a hop, skip, drive away from crossing the bridges to get to Canada, and it's so fast. Like you can be here and in Canada within the same hour. And I seen this video footage of the sky turning orange in Brooklyn. I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City just turning orange. And I'm just like, I don't know. Somebody help me. Somebody with MapQuest or somebody good at geography help me out here. I'm just trying to figure out how is it possible for New York City to be completely orange and for me to basically be neighboring Canada and it not be as bad up here. Now, don't get it twisted. It's pretty bad. You can barely inhale, but I'm just thinking about all the toxins that's being put out into the air that people have to inhale. You know, and although I have a face mask on, clearly this could affect me in a negative way. And it's just interesting how this situation isn't, a state of an emergency in upstate New York. We can't even breathe fresh air. The only way I've been getting fresh air in my house is turning on the air conditioning because it's filtering the toxins, I think. But besides that, it's been very smoky and it's been smelling like burning wood all day. And when I went outside in the evening, it just seems very dreary and cloudy. And I'm just like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, this decade has just been exhausting, to say the least, in the United States. Like, I feel like every time we get over one situation, there's something else that happens, particularly up in upstate New York. And I'm pretty sure you guys, if you guys follow us, or the things that go on in our neighborhood nationwide, we done had shootings going on, mass shootings, earthquakes, like, we've had extreme weather storms in the winter time that killed a ton of people. And now the air is polluted over here. And it makes me think, like, should I just move the hell out of town? Or am I just not safe anywhere? Because you might be able to breathe fresh air in Atlanta, but there sure is enough shootings going on out there to make you just want to stay locked up in the house and away from it. And when I'm saying that is because I get alerts from multiple news sources, the Daily Mail. I have, of course, Atlanta News on speed dial, the New York Times on speed dial to report certain stories. And there's so much content and news being thrown at me on a daily basis. It's hard for me to produce a good podcast because I'm just like, I feel like, oh shit, this happened. Oh, this shit happened. Oh, I don't want to run out of time here. in regards to talking about it. And it's like, damn, what do I discuss? It's just too much going on. Like, right now it's 1:30 in the morning. I just really wanted to get some things off of my chest because I've been literally sitting in this house just seeing everybody on social media panic because the color of the moon is like orange, or the sun is orange, the sky is orange, there's orange smoke around us, and it's making me wonder, is this a ordinary forest fire? What the hell is this? Because last time I checked, smoke is usually like cloudy, like gray. Why the hell is the air orange? Like, what toxins did this forest fire ignite to have such a result? And if anybody who's a scientist or, studies the planet and nature, please let me know what could have caused this. This isn't a science fiction, nature-based podcast, but I am just very distraught by the sudden turn of events that has happened here in my state of New York. And then on top of that, the thing that makes me kind of want to move out of New York is the price of rent is so high. But yet you want to squeeze everybody into these tiny apartments. Imagine paying $1 million in rent per year for a tiny 2-bedroom apartment where you can barely stretch out. You can't even run in circles more than once. I mean, you literally have to do the 2-step to work out. But they're telling you that you got to pay 5 to 6 figures a month to live up in there because they decided to make the counters out of gold and platinum and bullshit. And then try to throw a antique artistic painting in there to make it seem like the apartment has more value when it doesn't. Did we even mention the fact that New York is sinking? If you guys didn't notice, New York City, because I'm in upstate. We're not technically on an island. We're upstate. But New York City, where the boroughs are, is literally an island. And, I just always thought about California sinking because everyone says that eventually California is going to sink and there's going to be a big volcano eruption because that's what California is. It's a giant volcano, that dried up and, grew and turned into whatever. And it's kind of like hanging on its last leg with the forest fires and earthquakes and stuff. But the thing that's so interesting is that New York City is sinking. Yet they want you to pay $1 million per year for a place that you can barely stretch out. You can barely have privacy. You have to live above people, below people. Man, don't let me get to talking about my neighbor, okay? This guy literally bangs on the damn ceiling with a fucking broomstick when I get up to walk around in my apartment. And this is the money that they want. I'm just trying to understand, how is this even legal? With all of these politicians, they're really crooked to me for you to be charging people so much money to basically live on top of each other. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And you know why New York City is shrinking? Because it's overpopulated. It's overpopulated. The land can only take so much. And also it's an island. It's surrounded by water. And you just keep on building more infrastructure on top of infrastructure. Building on top of building. People on top of people. Millions of people living on top of each other. Not to mention the rat problem. The trains, the subways, all of this stuff constantly going. And it's like the ground is never getting a break because everybody is always moving. The city literally never sleeps. And yet and still they want you to pay almost $1 million per year to not be even comfortable enough to be able to walk around your house and go to the bathroom because you have a idiot of a neighbor living below you, tapping on the ceiling, which is your floor, annoying the hell out of you. There's a lot of reasons why people move out of the state of New York. I mean, and I don't recommend anybody moving here. I don't. At first, I used to say to myself, the benefits of living in New York is we don't have all of the same storm problems like everybody have out of town in the west part of the world, or, Midwest or whatever, in regards to the tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, stuff like that. But Buffalo is starting to get to that point where it's just like, I experienced my first earthquake and my first forest fire all within the first 6 months of 2023. Baby, I'm tired. Not to mention, this is after the worst winter storm ever calculated in history in the United States, possibly in the world. It can be exhausting to wake up every day and having to pay this high ass rent and not having enough space for you and your family. And yet, we have these politicians doing speeches like New York is the greatest city or the greatest state in the world, and this, and this in the United States. And it really is not. It just sounds as if everyone is okay with gentrification, excuse me. I said that wrong, but gentrification, which is when you basically take the ghettos and you turn them into high class base and classy based homes, which increases the value of the property, which means that the rent continues to go up. So you basically take a shack and you add some damn gold trim into it, some marble floors, and a platinum countertop with a walk-in closet, and the walk-in closet is bigger than the damn bedroom for you to sleep in. And here you have yourself a luxury apartment, which is basically the equivalent size of a damn hotel. Maybe, I think hotels might be bigger. I just really just don't know about New York. And it's funny because so many of us experience this on a daily basis, but we're so used to this shit. But man, what I would not give to get a house, a nice big house with actual land, so I have the freedom to stretch out and not have to deal living on top of, beside of, just around people all the time. And the crazy thing is that they say New York City, it's like, of course, everybody's on top of each other, but the same thing happens here in upstate New York. It just seems like it's more space when it comes to the land and backyard space and stuff like that. I do have more grass and stuff like that compared to somebody who lives in Brooklyn, in their brownstone. It's really nothing for them to actually enjoy. But now the worst part is in New York, they're cutting down so many trees. And I'm just talking about because in upstate, they've cut down a lot of trees. And if you guys don't know, plants and trees and grass cleans the air. And when you're getting rid of that, when toxins like this come into the atmosphere, it's hard for it to clear out, for us to be able to bring, inhale healthy air and having good air quality. And that's the dangerous part that I feel like most people don't understand in regards to this whole wildfire and cloudy orange skies that we're seeing above us currently in New York. Is we don't barely have any trees. And New York City barely has any trees around. So when the air is polluted, it's polluted. And who knows how many people are going to be affected by this in a negative way. Everybody literally has to share the same air. And I'm not quite sure exactly what caused this wildfire, but allegedly, according to my research, they're saying that they just want it to burn itself out. And I don't think that's a bright idea because you are risking the health quality of your citizens by doing that. And it makes me just think deeper about our government and how things are set up and why things happen. It just makes me think, like, do I need to move the hell out of New York? You know? And man, I've been up late just thinking about stuff, and I just been like, I just get tired. You ever just get tired? Like, I know I get tired sometimes, and I got a lot of dreams for myself and aspirations, so I get up and I try to push forward, but I'm hoping that eventually this platform takes off the way that it needs to, so I don't have to work for anybody but myself, because I really feel like I've earned that. I feel like I deserve that. I feel like everybody deserves to have some type of peace and happiness in regards to having income and be able to move the way that they want to move without feeling like they're stuck to one thing in order to survive, you know? And I think that's something about my personality as a person that's made me evolve, you know? And the thing is that I'm trying to be more personable with my podcast because I have so many new subscribers, and I'm trying to do a different approach to things because I feel like with me being, of course, Black and being a part of this Black media group of people that's out here pushing out news and stuff, sometimes the news can be so repetitive that people can barely see you up the algorithm. You like, people don't even know that you're there because everyone's repeating the same podcast story over and over and over and over and over and over again, that by the time I talk what I have to say, they're less likely to click on it because they already heard the same YouTube channels, Black YouTube channels that's been pushed up the algorithm for the past 15 to 20 years talk about the same subject. So, you know, I just want to take a minute and do something different outside of just doing celebrity gossip, but just talk about New York, period, and how this is not acceptable. The things that we have to deal with on a daily basis in New York is unacceptable. And, you know, I'm definitely sending prayers out to people that's in Canada because if we're getting the aftermath of this, I can only imagine what they're inhaling. And I actually got a trip planned during this summer to go to Canada. And I'm praying to God that that works out because I don't want to have this forest fire going for months because that wouldn't be good for what I have planned for myself. So, you know, but for everybody that's in New York or moved out of New York, I just want to hear your thoughts. Anybody that's currently dealing with this orange cloud of smoke, anybody have any emergencies that happen in regards to this air quality? You know, how are you guys getting through this and surviving? And and just in general, how are you surviving with the amount of rent you have to pay on a daily basis to survive in New York? Just a side thought. I was thinking about the girl that was on American Idol. I just can't think of her name right now, and her name slips me right now. But I seen her, and she won American Idol in 2020. I think her name is Sam. I think her name is Samantha, and she won American Idol. And according to them, they said that, you know, with her winning American Idol, she would get $250,000 and this record contract. And it's been less than, 3 years later, and we're just basically getting out of the pandemic, kind of. And I'm seeing her on Instagram performing on the subway for money to survive. And, you know, when I seen her story on American Idol, she was basically barely surviving with her grandmother and stuff. And to see her out there performing on the streets, trying to hustle and get money together, that lets you know that the rent is too high in New York City. Because how do you get $250,000 to basically start over and you still don't have enough to survive, and it's been like 3 years? Like, I feel like we're being price gouged like hell in this state. And it might be a democratic state where you say, like, oh, we got equal rights, this, and this. But we need to address the real estate crisis going on here. Because it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for you to charge a price that's only good for, or acceptable for the 1% of society that is wealthy. While 99% of the actual population who is working class or poor, middle class, poor, has to pay these astronomically high as rent and bills and mortgage and all this other pricing that they're doing on top of the food going up, everything, supplies going up. Like, something gotta give. It really does. And yeah, man, I just be considering leaving New York, but then I'll be like, I don't know any other state that's as chillax when it comes to the government as well, because there's so much legislation constantly being passed in these states and throughout the country that you're just like, well, fuck it. I guess I'll just keep getting price gouged for rent. At least I have some type of freedom as a woman, as a black woman here, Y'all, I just had to go on a rant because it's just been, I'm going to try to use my podcast more as therapy and try to get more subjects to talk about outside of these celebrities being complete idiots. Because life gets real, and sometimes you just want to have a real conversation and discuss the things that's going on in the world outside of what these rich, spoiled ass celebrities are doing. It's so easy when you just go and repetitively do the same thing that other podcasts or the black podcasters do, which is talk shit about celebrities and this, and this. But I'm going to try to connect more with the people. And don't get it twisted, I'm still going to talk about celebrity news, but I'm going to be doing more podcasts that's more relatable every so often in between me discussing celebrities. Because really, on my heart, I'm ready to move out of New York, but I don't know where I want to move to. Yeah. So on that note, of course, this is the DJ Jericho podcast where I talk about world news, entertainment news in the urban world. And sometimes I just vibe like I'm doing today. I hope you guys hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. I've been working very hard to build a channel. We're at 7,000 subscribers. 7,000 subscribers is pretty good, but I have over 750 videos on this channel. So I'm not satisfied with that number, 7,000. I feel like YouTube in a way discriminates against me and a lot of black content creators on a daily basis. And I'm just hoping that, I don't know how many people listen to this, maybe 5 people will listen to it. But I'm hoping that this new approach that I'm taking, discussing other things, will help not only with me getting some type of mental therapy and peace, but help me break through an algorithm and reach more people to help take this channel to the top. Because I know I deserve more than 7,000 subscribers. I deserve 700,000 subscribers. I deserve being able to live off the brand that I created and doing media work. I went to college for this. I have a bachelor's degree in media and communications. And this is all I ever wanted to do my entire life. But I had so many, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? So many incidences that basically blocked me from hitting my goals in life. And, I can't stop because I love doing radio work. And no matter what things happen, I feel like this is the work that I'm meant to do. So outside of that, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope you guys are drinking water. It's so important to drink water and stay hydrated in the middle of all of this madness. If you have a job, don't let your job overstress you. Sometimes you just need to call off. And if you if you watching this and you got perfect attendance at work and you really feel burnt out, call off, man. Take care of yourself because you only have one body. you know, and anything can happen at any moment. And sometimes when you just feel exhausted, you just gotta give yourself a break, and that's what I'm gonna do. But outside of that, tell me, am I crazy about my thoughts about New York City and how they're price gouging people and how this is basically highway robbery for rent and mortgage and all this other stuff? Subscribe to my podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. In the word of Skylip the rapper, maybe we all need to get the fuck out of New York. And on that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed night, and I'll catch you guys later.